Black Templars Bayard's Revenge. Look at that. It's a gorgeous model. So, what we're going to do here, well, we're not going to have him stabbing. We'll keep the wound there though. And we'll just work out a different attack. So here's the sprue, and look at that sword. That is one beefy sword. You could do quite a few kitbashes with that alone. It's got a nice hold on the hilt there, like on the Dark Angel. The Dark Angel's got a very similar one like that. That'd be good for a captain. All you'd have to do is just take this hand off and put a pommel on the end there. But that would be quite nice. Then you got all the usual bits and bobs, shoulders and pauldrons. But yeah, straps on the legs. And that arm is very weirdly connected to the torso, but that looks like it would slot right onto the front nicely. So this sword going down to the body is very restricting. It's not going to leave us with many angles. You could have the one hand on there and then pointing away, but I'm going to change the torso for a Dark Angel's one. As for the sword, I think we're going to have a hand pointing out or downward, or balance it, and another one going up. Maybe, yeah, cut his head off. And cut the head off and then have the sword going back on itself. And have the front hand balancing. Yeah. So yeah, it'd be, yeah. So now I'm just going to cut all the bits out. Now this orc's head's going to be decapitated. So I've glued the shoulders in only and left the middle part free. So now I can just pull the orc's head off. It's really weird that they left the tongue on the neck. But yeah. I'm just going to clean that up in a bit now. But let's just get the orc built up first. So, yeah, that arm does straighten out with the back bit that's attached to the torso. It's quite an interesting way to do it, but we're not going to need, we're going to have to glue these so I can chop the torso off at the waist and just remove the arm just to make it easier. Let's get rid of this iconography. I'm just going to leave this bare. I might put a transfer on it later, but I might just leave it bare. So the body will look like. I'll pop the leg off in a second to make things a bit easier, but I'll cut this top torso bit off, but as we can see we're going to have to clean that up. But here's the counterpart, this Dark Angel's veteran body. I'm going to take a bit off the bottom here, just to give us a bit more room to work on the front bit. And glue that body on, and just have a little tester now. Might need to clean it up a little bit, but it's sitting quite nicely. Now this is a pointing finger from the Primaris, one of the Primaris box sets. The arm's quite straight, so I'm going to use this with the Praetor Horus Heresy Age of Darkness Praetor sword. Just trying to work out the right angle now. No, that bit's going to be too far in, so I'm going to have to file down that shoulder so we're not interfering with the join there. Just to test us, a little bit of glue just to test out. Then that'll be gluing in the background. Fix the feet in. The sword looks about the right angle, so I'm going to start gluing it all together now, and I'll work out how far I want it to go back. You gotta remember that you want to try and not put too much twist on it, to look at the midsection of the waist and kind of just only turn it a fraction, so you can then get the sword blade and try and aim it for the neck, so when we come back to make it look like a slice, it looks like the blades come from there. I'm getting the head and everything glued on now. The head, by the way, is a Deathwing Horus Heresy companion helmet. This is a Dark Angel's veteran arm with an open hand. Can't remember what the kit from the open hands from, but there's a fair few of them in these kits now. The backpack and the shoulders I tend to use are all Mark III Horus Heresy. I just like the style. I'm just trying to work out the right angle so it's not obscuring the face too much. And this, I'm going to cut the neck off now with as much of the nice chunk of stump left there, so we can proceed to my next silly idea. But Iron Halo and a little heraldry shield. Now, I don't know, my idea now was to add a blood trail. So I got a clear bit of plastic and I cut this out of one of these Horus Heresy head box sets. That's all it is. Now I've got to work out how much of the swing it would have been required. So just looking for something round, I found this tape which looks about the right amount of, well, the right shape. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's going to be cutting it down to shape, but trying to keep that particular shape as we go along. cutting a little bit off it here and there. I cut little spikes out of it to begin with. But you gotta remember the blood's running off it as it's going round, so it won't be spraying out from the neck, it would be spraying, it would be kind of blood being left behind from the sword. So if there's anything leaving the neck, it'll be a little bit here and there. The majority of it will be in between the sword and the head. So now I'm just putting a nice bit of glue on it. I'm not leaving it on this box. I'll pick it up and have it hanging on a bit of metal or like a paper clip or something. But once it's dried, it'll have a really tacky surface and I can paint it easier and it'll still be translucent. But what I want is the plastic's thin enough that I can glue to the edge of the blade. Might have to put something underneath it when I glue it to the blade, but then I just have to glue this head onto that plastic, so the plastic will stick to the stump over to the blade. So there we have it. Took about 4 coats of Blood for the Blood God, but that glue really helped sell it. Just get it on the edges, gloop it up on the ends there, and it worked out well. Little stump I added with a white dot. Yeah. So I hope that helps and inspires for people to give it a go for themselves, and yeah. Thanks for watching.